Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, ASIATHABIRD. So I have a very special guest with me today. She is a nail artist and nail educator. Please welcome Chloe Reed. Hello, Chloe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Good to be here.
That's great. That's good. So I want to kick off this whole interview by asking where you're originally from and how'd you get started into the nail industry?
Oh, nice. Okay, so I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised, lived there for a majority of my life. I had a brief stint that I lived in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I relocated to Texas after a layoff in my corporate job.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing nails for 17 years now. We have one more year. And I started doing nails because that's all I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I want to do. I got degrees too, because, parents like, you gotta get a degree. But in real life, I only wanted to do nails. That's it.
Right. That was the same with me. Cause when I was like 13, my dad was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I said, I want to do nails. And that was the whole thing. I wanted to do nails. Like,
yeah,
I got my cosmetology license in high school. So it's like after high school. So it's like I wanted to really focus on that niche was nails. So nails is something I've always wanted to do. And especially nail art. Nail art was like, full expression and, you can do so many things with nail art. So that's really cool about that.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of like with nail art and especially with the nail industry, was there anybody that really inspired you or motivated you to get more into the artistry of nails?
Yes, there were a lot. In Michigan, in Detroit specifically, there's a lot of Black nail techs, and my nail tech was actually a nurse, like a full-on registered nurse, not no LVN, like a BSN nurse. And so she always did nails because she could work her nursing shift and then do nails whenever she wanted to on the weekend. And she really inspired me to get into nails because I love the art that she was doing. Like she did my nails for prom. She did fingers and toes. She did my nails for prom. She did my nails a little bit after that. And then, of course, I went to college or whatever. But I had always wanted to do nails because all of my aunties had beautiful long nails with nail art every single time. And just seeing that and then growing up in the Motor City, it's like a very creative place. It was always about hair, nails, and they did a lot of fashion shows when I was coming up in the 80s and stuff. And that's really 100% what inspired me to do nails. Like really.
Yeah, most definitely. Like that's the same with my mom. My mom would always get her nails done at the salon. She would always have like French tips and everything.
Yeah.
And that motivated me to get into nails also. So yeah, it's really cool because like, you see your family get their nails done and it motivates you to get into nails and to do their nails,
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
I actually did a few of my aunt's nails a couple times. My favorite aunt, I did her nails like twice. She ended up passing, but still I was like excited that I got to show her what I learned and actually put that on her nails. So that was like a cool moment for me.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Now, in terms of like, nail artists, who are like your favorite nail artists that you look up to?
My favorite graffiti nail bar is like one of my absolute, like, I wish I can do faces and stuff like that. Like she's the GOAT when it comes to faces. I like Miami Ashley. Her work is so neat and so clean. She's really about her business. She's always trying to educate and help others.
Right.
And one of my other favorites, she's out of Chicago, Spifter.
Yes,
Spifter. Yeah. Listen, the work is like, what? Mind blown. And she's actually a graphic artist by trade.
Right.
So like that spills over into her nail work and you're just like, wow, I wish I could get closer to your work and see it up close. If she ever hosts another class, I'm in there. I'm like going to Chicago and I'm taking her class.
Yeah, most definitely. Like Spifter, her stuff is really, really unique. I like her stuff, especially Nails by Dev. Her stuff is
her stuff is magnificent. And what's this? It's another young lady that's not Astro Wifey.
Yeah, her nails. Yeah.
Bro, like I'm always flabbergasted at her work as well.
Yeah, like, and also especially like in the UK, Alice McNails.
Yes.
Faith James, who's very good at nails. Yeah, so many others out of the
Hema Lambert. I like her stuff too. There's a lot. Like when we get to travel again, I would definitely love to do like a UK nail education taking tour type thing because I love their work.
Yeah. And, I got inspired by Hazel Dixon and I like Mino Vo's work. Mino Vo, he's like an editor.
Very precise.
Yeah, he's very precise and his nails are out this world.
Right.
Another artist that I like, she's from Serbia, and her name is Koska Bohana, and she has like these very long nails. And
oh, I follow her. Yes,
yeah.
I follow her. Yes. Have you followed? I think it's Barbara Uvari.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Yes, I took a class from her when she came to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Lesson, Chef's Kiss. It was the best. Such a good instructor.
Yeah,
Such a good instructor.
Yeah, she's very detailed. I think she has a twin sister who's also
She does.
a nail
She
artist
does.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very precise.
Exactly. And they take their time doing those. I do like that about the European artists, that they take their time getting the nail work done. Like, I feel like here we're kind of like rushed. Like, can you get me out in like 60 minutes? Like, no, not with all the stuff you wanted. No.
Yeah, it's going to take long. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we're creating like mini artwork on your nails. There's another young lady. She's been doing a lot of press-ons, and I can't recall her name right now, but she always shares how much time it takes her to do the job. And I like that she shares that time, so people can think like, yeah, you're not about to get like a full face paint with shadows and uplighting and downlighting in like 20-30 minutes. Like, that actually takes time for me to hand paint that and layer in the colors.
Right. So, yeah. Exactly. Now, what is your whole take in terms of the nail education system? What do you think could be like better in terms of the nail education system?
Because I am actually a licensed instructor in the state of Texas, I think that states can do a better job of making sure that people are not just going to cosmetology school and nail school for the minimal education, like to pass boards. Because pretty much, that's just what schools teach. They teach you how to pass boards. They don't teach you what you're going to need to actually be successful in the industry. They teach you how to pass the boards. If states did a few more requirements as far as curriculum and actually went through and checked what that curriculum is and how, and like watched the matriculation of students through the program and how successful they are after, it would be better for a lot of these upcoming nail techs. Also, I feel like it's crazy that a lot of the schools make you go through cosmetology school when all you want to do is nails. And I understand because coming from the educator aspect, like, you can't get that many people that want to come and do nails, or maybe you can't fill a class at the specific time because they have to work as well. But there has to be some kind of like education boost and even with the hair industry, there has to be like some kind of influx of like, these are the topics that you need to go off for actual working on physical clients. And it's not just a bunch of water manicures and nail tips. You know what I'm saying? It's more to it than that. It's about building a business. Now, if students are able to get instructors that are really about the nail industry, then yes, they can definitely get more education, but not every instructor is going to do that.
Right.
And I've heard from some people, like, my nail tech instructor was a cosmetology instructor. So, I mean, they might know something, but it's limited. So I feel like a lot of people are, I guess, gypped when it comes to that part.
Right.
I do feel like there needs to be like, like with collegiate education, you have certain standards across the board, certification boards. There needs to be something like that for all nail schools across the board. And then all states need to have pretty much the same kind of requirements, because if you move from state to state, sometimes your state has reciprocity and you can transfer your license, but then sometimes it doesn't, and that sucks. And then you got to go back to school. And I feel like those hours that you were in the industry should count towards your license in another state if you've already been licensed. I do feel like they're trying to deregulate the industry, which is going to be a huge disservice to customers and clients, because we already have issues with non-standard salon practices and the type of product that they use anyway. So that does something to our industry, because they don't see it as like a real industry like they look at medical professionals. Right. If you're going to govern us or like facilitate the way we can or can't run, then that needs to be across the board for everybody, and they actually need to enforce it. So I feel like that needs to be fixed as well. But also in terms of education, I do feel like nail techs need to get ready to be able to learn more online, because it's easily available. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have the money to travel just yet, you can learn online. And a lot of people say, well, I need face-to-face and hands-on instruction. And these next upcoming years, that's not going to be available everywhere. Right. So you're going to have to pretty much get it how you can and just put your nose to the grindstone and start practicing and working on that skill if you really want to make money with that skill. And you could do that on your own at home. It's just going to take some time.
Right. So. Exactly. Very well said. Now, like, I definitely agree with the whole nail education system. Like, there has to be more in-depth requirements to it,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not just, like how you said, hours to pass,
Mm-hmm.
like how I did cosmetology courses in high school. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
a small sector of nails that we learned. The majority was
Mm-hmm.
hair. So I
Yeah.
had to learn a lot of nails by myself, like different
Right.
techniques and stuff like that. So that's what I had to do. And I think people partially shouldn't have to do that. And it should be like more in depth about different techniques,
Exactly.
understanding insurance, understanding just different ways of how to, handle different clients and understand a clientele marketing.
And market, and also retirement, because it's a lot of nail
Right.
techs that don't have any retirement. I've been doing a series on my Instagram, not my Instagram, on my TikTok, and I just go over like business stuff for nail techs. Like, you want to get your name out there. This is where you put your business on Google, and this is how you build your profile. You want to save for retirement. I use a few different vehicles to save. There's solo K programs available where you can actually fund your own 401k, and you can get tax benefits for that. Also, I go over like ordering. When you're ordering supplies for the salon, a lot of us get caught up in like the glitter and the shine. And it's like, order what you need until you start building a clientele that wants that, because clients don't know what's available. Only you do. They don't need everything that's available. So you don't need to be shopping weekly for nail supplies. So try to tell techs, shop monthly. You save money. Buy certain things in bulk. Things like that. So there is definitely a lot missing from the system, but I think that eventually it will make a change, or it's just going to be up to the nail tech to make sure that they're getting what they need or searching for that information wherever they can.
Right. And that's, one of them is taking nail classes, like how you said, and I look at different parts of the world, especially like, for example, Europe, like they're so precise in what they do. They're so like in depth about the different nail shapes. They go above and beyond with the extreme nail shapes, and I think, especially here in the States that, that's something that a lot of us want to learn, but, we don't have a lot of people that do that, in the States, in my personal opinion. So, I look at a lot like how I said, Costco Bohana, Mino Vogue, that know how to do those extreme nail shapes, and that'll be something to really learn here in the States. So yeah, but yeah, definitely you have to search for education, around the world, whether it's online or in person. So
yeah, definitely. A lot of the classes that I've taken, and like you're saying with the Europeans, I took a 2-week class in Rome, Italy, 2 years ago, and it was like literally telcs from Japan and everywhere else that were coming in to train us. And you did not pass your qualifier if you could not achieve the shape or whatever they're going over. And you still had to come with some kind of skills already. Because like our acrylic instructor was like a grand nail master. And so the girl was like, well, how do I use it? She's like, I'm not here to teach you acrylic. You already should know that. You in this class because you're trying to hone those skills. So it was like real serious. So they don't play around when it comes to it over there. And I do feel like there's a lack of education like that. Everybody's like worried about people's feelings being hurt. Or I also see a lot of people just jumping on taking classes from nail techs that they haven't seen them take any classes. So you haven't seen them take any classes. They're doing the same kind of nails over and over again. And you expect them to teach you something different than what they know. They don't know anything different. They haven't educated themselves. So I feel a lot of nail techs get duped that way because they're paying thousands of dollars for classes from individuals who, one, aren't instructors, two, have a bad reputation when it comes to classes, but you're still paying because you fall into the hype.
Right.
So it happens. It happens. There's nothing to say about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's a lot of like growing and progression in terms of the nail education system, wholeheartedly. Now, I want to talk about, you owning a salon business. So you own Glam Nails in Texas. And I want you to talk about your experience owning your own nail salon.
Okay, so I've had my salon for 9 years now. I think 9 years. I think maybe 19 years because I've been here 11 years. So it has been very interesting. At one point, I had an assistant. Right now, it's a little bit harder to find people to work with just because they can't do the schedule. Like, can you be here from these times? So I think that's the issue is a lot of people want to get in nails because they can run their own schedule, but you do have to understand that you have to be there when the clients are there. Building my business, I started from scratch with absolutely positively nothing. I did not have any clients because I relocated to Texas from Michigan. And pretty much what it was from the start of it, when I knew that I was going to do nails, I was in the salon 6 days a week. I had one day to recoup and I was in the salon 6 days a week, early to late. And I kept that up for a year and a half. At about a year and a half mark, I noticed, I'm like, I got a little extra money in my bank account. So once I noticed, I'm like, oh, snap, there's more money in my bank account. And I had started doing just a once a month ordering for supplies and only what I needed, no extras.
Right.
So once I started doing that, then I started scaling back and I raised my prices. So every time where I started getting overwhelmed, where I have so many people calling this and the third, I'll scale back by raising my prices. So when I raise my prices, then I do less clients for the same amount of money, less clients for more money. And so now I'm at the point where I'm only at 4 days a week. And so I have less clients, but my average client spend is $150 per person. So if I only want to make $300-$400 a day, 4 people, I'm good.
Yeah.
4 services, I'm straight. And then even with those 4 services, my also goal is to upsell them at least another additional $10 and whatever, nail art or whatnot.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, that's how I built my book. But it was pretty much like, I think when I got here, Instagram was just really starting to pop. So it was posting on Instagram. I've always had the Google business listing, posting on there, and then a lot of word of mouth. Like, oh, I go to this girl, she's really good. She only does sculpted nails. And that's how I got a lot of clients, was referrals. And I wasn't afraid to fire clients because not everybody can go with you.
Yeah, most definitely. And I want to talk about airbrushing, because you're like, so good with airbrushing, because I know you've done videos with, with the airbrush and nail art and stuff like that. So for those people who are salon owners who want to do something like that with airbrushing and things of that nature and offer it to clients, now, what are some pieces of advice would you give for someone who wants to get into airbrushing?
I would say survey your clientele. How many clients are you going to potentially be doing this airbrushing on? How much money do you anticipate that it's going to be able to generate you per weekly for the investment that you're going to make of time and equipment, period, just for learning? I did create 7 free videos for people to look at and find out about equipment, like what kind of equipment's out there. I'm not sponsored by any particular organization or any particular nail company when it comes to equipment. So it was pretty much a non-biased review, and I have practice sheets and things like that. And of course I have my full-blown airbrush class. When you're doing airbrush, the thing to remember is you're going to do things in layers, just like you do with nail art that you're hand painting. That's what I learned when I took my classes over in Japan and I got certified with aerogel and everything else. It's a lot of it's layers. And so the way you practice the medium is almost working from reverse. Like, what do you want your end result to be? And that's how you build like your nail art design or whatever it's going to be, between layering stencils and colors and things like that. Anybody can get into airbrushing. I like to tell my students it is the easiest way to do nail art without really having to think a ton of designs all the time. Once you practice your technique and get it down, it's like my lessons teach you, it's really just a lot of figuring out, how do I layer this to get the desired end result that either I am trying to make or that my client wants me to make. So I'm not gonna say it's simple or easy, but it's not so difficult, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's doable,
right?
A little time, a little effort, you can do it.
Yeah, most definitely. Very good advice. In terms of with NTNA, because I know me and you compete in the NTNA season 8, and I want to kind of get into that. So what has been like your whole experience just competing in that season? What has been your thoughts in terms of competing?
This was my second time competing. I think both times I made it the first time I didn't make it that far. And that was okay because I ended up losing my brother like right shortly after that. So I wasn't that upset about it. I was like, okay, that's one less thing, because I really wasn't feeling it after that. And then the second time, I think what I would have liked is a little bit more of explanation about why the look or whatever that I didn't make it. I didn't feel like I had enough information in reference to, this is what we're looking for. Like, the rules are out there, but it's not real specific. Like, okay, we have to use all of this, but do I need to do it on myself, or does it need to be on a model? Because then I have to schedule that. But then you want everything done in a week. But if you want everything done in a week and I'm a salon professional, do I have the time to do that? And if I'm doing nails for a specific competition piece, that's not nails that my client wants to wear all week. So it can't be a client, which means I'm in the salon after hours, which is moving a lot of things around. I think that, like, I do it for exposure and just to challenge myself, but I think I will not do it again. I definitely won't do it again. I will try to participate more in international competitions because they have a lot of those online. And because I don't feel like the payoff for me participating in NTNA was actually worth what I put into it.
Yeah, like with the whole experience, like for me personally, like it was an interesting experience. It was very challenging. You learn a lot from it. But I do think like is the hours you got to put in 15 to 30 hours a week on each set, and that's a lot of hours and a lot of
Too
like,
much.
yeah, it's too
It's
much,
too much.
Yeah,
because we're actually running businesses or working for someone.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of wiggle room in that. And then you want the challenges so close together. We're gonna condense it down. It's like, still got a full blown clientele. And I know that's different for everybody, because when I came back, my clients was like knocking at the door, like, yeah, we ready. Because I kept them abreast of like what was going on, like what I'm gonna open via email, because I email my clients and everything else. So when I came back and when I got the competition thing, I kept thinking to myself, like, how much time do I even realistically have for this?
Right. Yeah, that's the
This is
thing.
a lot of requirement.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours, and plus, you gotta plan what you're gonna do, and then you got the critiques. And the thing with the critiques for me, in my personal opinion, is just that I wish it was a bit more in depth, or we at least heard what each of the judges had to say.
Me too.
And as to why we're positioned a certain type of position, like whether we're in the top 3 safe or in the bottom. That's the entire thing. And I think also too, and I was talking to, I was interviewing Jessica Warzeniak about this, and I wish kind of like with the judging, it was a bit more consistent, that's the entire thing. So, but
because you really didn't know, like, I knew what they were looking for. And then I'm looking at like, okay, well, I put out this and, this person put out that, and nothing against what they put out. But I'm like, I really felt like I knocked it out of the park. And not that I could win every single, challenge or whatever. I just was like, I really don't feel like I know exactly what the judges are looking for me with the information that I was given.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I felt kind of the same way too, a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I think with NTNA, it was an interesting experience. It does give you a little bit of exposure, and like, like for how you said, like the international competitions are, I think, a bit more better because you have a lot to work with, a lot to select in terms of category, especially with Nail Olympia. Nail Olympia is like one of the top like competitions in the world that everybody participates
in. Exactly.
So you have like a plethora of different challenges that you can do.
Right. And you actually have people who are legit, like been in the industry a long time, and they've been doing these kind of techniques. And so I feel like that Olympia to me feels like, it's like, oh, okay, this is real serious. Like NTNA is great, but I don't know. Like I said, I won't do it again at all.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Now, what is like your favorite art mediums to use when creating nail art or nails, like besides like airbrushing?
Gel. If you got some gel polish or some gel paint, let's go. I mean, I'm really more of an abstract artist when it comes to nail art, because I'm not really a huge face painter or anything else like that. So if I can do it in gel, then I'm in there. I can soar. I can add some foil, some glitter, some stamping. I'm all about the layers. Like, how do I build my nails so that my end result is this magnificent thing that everybody wants to look at?
Right.
That's what I'm always thinking.
Yeah, like my favorite is also like gel, but also like with nail art, like I'm more of a nail art person. I like using like acrylic paint or like and things like that to do nail art. Especially acrylic, because it's easier for me to like layer and stuff like that. Like I use gouache and watercolor at certain times. So I think those are my favorite mediums for me personally. Now, like in terms of like fashion and nails, like, because I know within the fashion industry, like nails is getting big within the fashion industry. Now, what is like your whole take on with fashion collaborating with like nails, like just like coming together as like one whole statement piece?
I feel like it's needed and it's about time. I'm glad we're getting like our just due, you know what I'm saying? And even there, I've noticed that they're willing to even pay more for nail artists to come in because it's part of the whole look. And you can see it even everything, like print ad. I was kept seeing these ads for this liquor company or whatever coming up on Instagram, and it's a girl holding a bottle, and I put at the bottom, like, I am so happy that her nails are like on point with this, ad campaign and blah blah. And they were like, oh, we really appreciate you saying that. Nails is such a huge focal point when it comes to a look, because actually it pulls the whole look together. It's an additional accessory that you can use to get across whatever the designer's views are. Ecstatic. I mean, eventually I would love to work at least one fashion week just to see how it is to do something like that. But I just look forward to seeing how much more we can evolve in nails and fashion. I don't know if you follow the editorial nail.
Yeah, I follow her. Yeah.
Listen, when I tell you homegirl's on the cusp of everything editorial nail related, just the way she presents the whole package, she pulls the look together, her marketing, her viewpoints, it's so on brand, on trend every single time that she to me, I feel like she sets the tone. And fashion designers, if they collaborate with her or any other nail tech that's in that industry that's pushing that envelope with it, it's definitely gonna make like, oh yeah, we really need to have nails every single time. Exactly. So I feel like I know you said about fashion. I feel like it's a lot of us that do fantastic nail art, but it's some of us that have such a keen eye for how fashion and nails work together,
right?
That you can't not have one without the other,
right?
Yeah,
exactly, most definitely. Yeah, and the thing is, like with fashion, is just as much of a statement piece as like the fashion garment itself. Yep. So, you look at a lot of with the nail industry now, you have a lot of people, wearing the nail, especially on the red carpet,
Red carpet, they do nail cams now. Videos, it's all about the nail, people showing their nails more so in videos and saying who their nail tech is. That's a plus also, because a lot of times, they didn't used to really share who their nail tech is. So I do like that artists are also sharing other artists, like, oh, my nail tech is this. Even if it's not for clout, it's just like, this person did amazing work. Let me give them their kudos right now, giving their flowers now. Yeah.
Yeah, so, most definitely. Now, what is your whole take in terms of like, what could be better, but also like the benefits in terms of like the nail industry? Like, what is your whole take on the progression of the nail industry as a whole?
I feel like we're doing pretty good. It's going to be slow because we have a few disruptors in the nail industry, and that are people who are just who are not licensed professionals, but they do nails or they'll do stuff for big brands and things like that in whatever capacity, or even with our state levels when they kind of dictate what we can and can't do with nails, but on their board they don't have a nail tech. So we have a lot of room to grow and hone in on our specialty, as far as we are nail artists, just like surgeons are surgeons. So you know what I'm saying, you can't expect the surgeon to do XYZ if that's not in the surgeon's role. Just like you can't expect nail techs to do XYZ if that's not in our role. So I feel like the more we grow as an industry and maybe possibly get, I don't want to say unionized, but the more we come together on how things are and aren't supposed to run, and how we can pretty much curb a lot of the nail enthusiast type stuff. Because everybody think, oh yeah, I can do nails because you can polish nails. But it's more to it than that, as far as what we deal with on a day-to-day with actual clients. I feel like the more we get a control of our industry in that part, in that respect, the more respect we'll get from outsiders, because we're so on our game.
Right, exactly, most definitely. Now, how would you define success in the nail industry, or just in life in general?
Success, for me specifically, success is working 3 days a week and not really having to do much else. It's being able to instruct more students so that they're successful in their businesses, because that is my end goal. And that's why I share a lot of my information about saving and spending and marketing and everything else, is because before, when I first started, it wasn't a lot of people telling you like, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. It was a lot of gatekeeping. So I try to give out a lot of information and tips like, this is what I do. I'm not sure what you guys coming up with, but these are the systems that I use, because I know there are systems that nail techs can put in place in order to help their business run smoothly. And that could be one of the things that they worry about, right? So success for me is having students who are successful, having a personal business and a personal brand, which people know, like, oh, if I really have a question, I can go talk to Chloe and she'll help me, eventually, like she'll get to me. If she has a resource, she'll make sure I get that. And also being able to complete my clients. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I just want to do clients 3 days a week. And then of course, I have an online store and I have everything else that I'm doing 3 days a week. And that way the rest of my time is devoted to just being peaceful, or even having more time to create without the extra needed to handle business part, because that's a stressor. So if I can create nails or nail content or anything without that stressor, I feel like I would have even more creative, like more things available for everybody else to learn from. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right. Most definitely. Now, in terms of like, I know you talked about how you work 3 days a week. Like how important is finding balance between work and daily life? How does someone, find that balance and especially taking care of their mental health?
Okay, so this is super important. I try to I schedule myself a lunch and I schedule myself breaks. So when I take my breaks, I don't think about anything work related. I might watch a show, I might listen to a book, or I might just write some notes or how I'm feeling down, just do a little journaling. It's so important for you to have that time to release your stress and the stressors that are bothering you. And like your business is great, but I feel like eventually as nail techs and as business people, we need to get to a point in our business where we can release control of our business to the systems that we put in place. And that way those systems are managing the things. We have employees that are managing the things, because we get into this business in order to run our own business, but I don't want to be an employee in my business.
Right.
And so since I don't want to be an employee in my business, I look for ways for me to be able to say, you know what? I don't have to do that. I can hire my virtual assistant to do these emails or these things on the list. Right. And so for me, it's scheduling those breaks, scheduling those times off, and also relinquishing control of everything. Because, you hold everything so tight and then nothing can get in or out. And then you're stuck there like, now I'm the only one who can do all of this. And it's like, well, if you train somebody to know how to do exactly what you need them to do, then you can have that done, and that'll be one less thing on your plate. And I know as entrepreneurs, we put a lot on our plate, but we got to start using these systems to get the stuff off. We're not meant to struggle in our business or work in our business for forever.
Right. Most definitely. I think finding that balance is most definitely very, very important. And last but not least, where can people find you on social media, and how can people get access to courses or make appointments and things of that nature?
Okay, so on social media, they can find me on Instagram as glamnails210, and that's nails with a Z. They click the link in my bio, and they can get access to courses. I started a new nail tech planner because I feel like 2022 is coming, and I got some big goals for that, so they can get access to all those resources. As far as clients, I am not taking clients at this moment. I am taking press-on orders, but other than that, no new clients just yet, because I haven't had any clients leave off my books in order for me to have space for new clients. For new students, I'm always looking for students that want to do hands-on one-on-one classes. I do offer those in San Antonio, face-to-face, or if you wanted to do them online, I do have that option as well. And the link in my bio literally has everything. You can get to everything. They can shop airbrush stencils, airbrush classes, all of that from that link in my bio.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for jumping onto the show. We're both wearing hoodies, being right this time of day, but thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your story, and especially how important nail education is. I definitely believe that's very, very important. And, just thank you for, giving insight about the nail industry and what could be better, especially with the education system.
Yes.
Thank you so much for jumping onto the show. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm always excited to talk to younger people than me in the industry and figure out how can we politic and work together, because it's all about networking. If you don't network, you get stuck. You got to build relationships with other nail techs, with other business people, because that's how you grow. So I really appreciate you having me on here, and I hopefully was able to help somebody with the information that I gave out.
Yeah, most definitely. And I like doing interviews and interviewing, people like yourself, because I think the information is very important. And plus it raises awareness, especially within our industry, the beauty industry, and especially within the nail sector. So, but like I said, I think the insight that you really shared was very great. It was absolutely important. Most definitely. Well, take care. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the holidays.
Yes.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Hello everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also follow me on my social media platforms and visit my website, ASIATHABIRD.com, and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care and stay beautiful.